At Western Illinois University, leathernecks don't just blend in. Our purple stands out. Our students are innovative, creative, and resilient. At WIU, there is limitless potential, with campuses in Macomb, the Quad Cities, and online. Visit
Nick Moore, number 3. Wiskerson. Number 24, Drew Pabin. Number 32, Isaac Gittenbacher. And number 44, Carter Eiler, the starters for Camp Point Central Southeastern. Thanks for joining us tonight. As we are just about ready to go with the starting lineup for the Southeastern Suns. And you can hear the music in the background as we are ready to go here. And the Suns went into last week's Macomb Western Holiday Tournament as the number 1 ranked team in Class A. Have not seen rankings this week to know how that changed. They lost twice last week. A very tough Macomb Western Holiday Tournament. They saw these Panthers there as well. As we get ready to go here for the starting lineup for the Southeastern Suns, the lights go out and we're ready to go. There's the starting lineups for tonight's contest. It's Griffin Tippy, 0. Owen Rigg wears number 3. Carter Hitz, number 13. Danny Stevens, the All-State player, wears number 23. And Mason Fry, number 24. Our live chat is open. Hop in there. Let us know where you're watching from and who you're cheering for. We'd love to have you on for this contest as Danny Stevens gets the tip, but it's going to be possession to the Suns. And Owen Rigg will inbound to Stevens. He's going to be picked up immediately by Drew Pabin as they extend to a man here. Stevens out past the 10-foot line. Still Pabin on him. Pabin gives up about a foot to Danny Stevens, it looks like, but you can imagine that he's going to be harassing him on the dribble out at the half-court line as soon as he comes across. And now it's going to be down in the corner to Tippy. It's going to be kicked out, actually through the lane, and it's going to be possession to the Suns. So we're just underway here in the first quarter. Into Stevens. Stevens turnaround jumper, left elbow, in and out, no good. Fry down there battling for the rebound with Eiler. Eiler comes down with it, comes down near side. Camp Point Central, the 4th-ranked team in that Macomb Western Holiday Tournament. The Suns were the 2nd-ranked team. Two very good basketball teams here on the floor tonight, as we're still having problems with our camera, and I apologize for that. I've changed everything out except for the physicality of the camera. We'll try to do that at halftime. That's the only other thing that I can change here, folks, and I apologize. And now Ginenbacher, Isaac Ginenbacher is going to get in for the reach. His first, team's first. So the second half, we probably will not have the clock. We'll change cameras. Oh, nice look down low. Griffin Tippy just got barrel rolled, and he missed the shot, and he missed the bucket. Carter hits, has it knocked away, gets it back. Out to Owen Rigg it comes now, top of the key. Owen Rigg on the dribble, goes right side to Danny Stevens. Stevens looks back to Coach Ufkus to get the play. Left side now to Tippy, back to Rigg, back to Tippy. The 2-3 zone now for either 2-3 or a box and one. It must be a box and one they're playing now. Fry down to Griffin Tippy, and Tippy gets the first 2 of the night for either team, and the Suns lead 2-0. Driving baseline and stepping on, we're going to call a foul. It's going to be a foul on Carter Hitz, his first, team's first. Inbound in a hurry, it goes to Wiskerchen. His shot is long, and the wrong rebound's tipped out of bounds. Nick Moore, one of the starters as well. Stevens going to be fouled by Eiler, I do believe. No, it's Ginenbacher. Isaac Ginenbacher will pick up his second, team's second. Stevens with it. Pabin back on him. Coming through the lane is Eiler to pick up Stevens now. Now back to Ginenbacher. It is a 2-3 zone, it looks like now. I thought it was a box and one possibly earlier because Ginenbacher followed him all the way out. Griffey. Rigg back to Griffey. Griffin Tippy. I've been saying that all night long, folks. I apologize. Once again, live chat's open. Hop in there. Tell us where you're watching from and who you're cheering for. Love to see the live chat going. Inlet pass is going to go off of Stevens as Pabin came in and got in the passing lane, and it's going to be a turnover. Possession back to the Panthers. Both these teams play very good defense. Now, I don't expect a lot of points to be scored tonight. Stevens, now it's out to Isaac Ginenbacher. His three-point attempt's off, no good. Wiskerchen on the rebound. He picks up his dribble, gives it to Pabin. Drew Pabin now goes down in the corner to Moore. Moore's three's off, no good. It's tipped around, picked up off the floor by Isaac Ginenbacher. Back to Moore. 15-foot jumper's good for Nick Moore, and we're tied at 2. And they're going to call Stevens for the charge as he ran over Pabin, and actually it was Carter Hitz trying to set a pick that probably caused the most of that. But Danny Stevens is going to pick up foul number 1, team foul number 2 for the Suns. Both teams have 2 fouls now with 4:30 remaining in the first quarter. Down in the corner, it goes to Wiskirchen. Now Moore, Ginenbacher. Pabin drives baseline, kicks it back out to Isaac Ginenbacher. Ginenbacher over to Moore for 3. Top right wing, it's good for Nick Moore. He's got 5, and the Panthers lead by 3 on the 3 by Moore. Moore's got all 5 of his team's points thus far. Stevens has not scored yet. The Suns have just 2 points. Stevens now goes over and back as he got double teamed just as he came across the half-court stripe. Isaac Ginenbacher and Pabin came up, and he got across, and then they kind of pushed him back. It's a turnover, and it's going to be a chance to build on a 3-point lead as Eiler has it for the Panthers. He goes to Ginenbacher. Ginenbacher top of the key, right side, it goes to Moore. Moore step back 3, right wing, off no good. Rebound to Griffin Tippie, and now Stevens pushes it up in a much more rapid pace, and then he gets tangled up. I believe Pabin is going to pick up the foul. We'll see. It is going to be the foul on Drew Pabin, his first, team's 3rd of the game for the Panthers. Owen Riggs going to inbound now for the Suns, and they're going to try to clean up some sweat off the floor here. The crew from KHQA is in the house tonight, so make sure you check out KHQA if you want to see some highlights of tonight's Camp Point Central Southeastern Suns contest. If you don't get enough action here, you can catch the highlights with Chris Dewar and crew on KHQA a little later this evening. Owen Rigg on the pass to Fry. Back to Rigg it goes, 3:30 remaining. Rigg steps back. Now he goes down the corner to Carter Hitz. Back to Rigg. Down to Stevens. Nearly took too long to get it in there. Stevens now pull-up jumper about 15 feet. In and out, no good for Danny Stevens. He's missed 2 shots. He's 0 for 2 on the night. Now a pass down to Eiler. Good look by Moore, but not a good follow-through. And now a little full-court pressure coming for the Panthers here as they pick up Stevens full court. Carter Hitz now on the dribble. Gives it back to Stevens. And he's going to go across half court to Hitz. Eiler guarding Hitz. Now it's going to be Fry. Fry wide open, 10-foot line. Nobody even near him. Now it's going to go down in the corner to Tippie. Back to Rigg, back to Tippie. 2:50 remaining. Now to Fry. Fry just inside the 3-point line from the left. Gets his first 2. Down it goes. Wiskirchen has his pass tipped by Stevens. Now it's going to be Wiskirchen with it. Wiskirchen's going to drive. He's got a lane. He dumps it down to Eiler. Eiler puts the shot up and in. Carter Eiler gets his first 2. Back to a 3-point lead for the Panthers. Stevens now. Out top it comes to Rigg. Rigg pull-up jumper, free throw line. Good for Owen Rigg. 7-6. Panthers with the lead. Moore loses it. Riggs there to take it away. Go back the other way they go. The Suns a chance to retake the lead. He goes to Hitz. Hitz his runners off. No good. Eiler with the rebound. Now Isaac Ginenbacher pushes it back the other way. He's going to get a layup, and it'll fall. Isaac Ginenbacher gets his first 2. And it's 9-6 as Hitz couldn't finish. Now Owen Riggs going to have to take it across half court. He gets picked up at the half court stripe. Dribbles right into the corner, the worst place to take the basketball. He's going to try to get it to Hitz. Going to be picked up by Fry. Fry's going to get the layup. He leaves it up short. He wanted to give it to Tippie, but the defender dropped off, and he had to put the shot up. Now here comes Moore. He kicks it out corner to Wiskirchen. Top of the key. Moore for 3. Moore has 8 points of the 12, and the Panthers are doubling up the Suns right now. Rigg with it. Pastor Tom, thanks for joining us. Chase Mudd says watching from Carthage. Another shot off, no good for the Suns. Scott Mudd. Isaac Ginenbacher for 3, nails it. Scott Mudd points out that Chase Mudd's supposed to be studying, but it seems to be watching your broadcast. Well, I appreciate him watching, but I'm absolutely no good at Spanish, so I don't think I could take his test for him. I could make a call to the school, but I don't think it'd do any good. 3 on the way by Carter. Hits is good. The Suns have had 4 players score here in the first quarter. None of them are named Stevens. They trail by 6, 15-9 as we approach the end of the first quarter here. Rigg takes it away. Stevens now 3, 2. He's going to pull up 3, top of the key. Nailed it at the buzzer. His first points of the game come at the buzzer, and just like that, the Suns have closed it to a 3-point game at the end of the first 8 minutes. We'll take a break, and we'll be back here on TSSR Game Time Live, presented by MDH.
I went through MDH when we were trying to get pregnant. We were struggling the first year, and then when we got pregnant, I stayed at MDH and through labor and now for pediatrics. My experience was nothing short of phenomenal. I was met with amazing staff members who helped me through concerns that I had when she was first born, helping me learn how to be a new mom. It was really reassuring and comforting knowing that I had so much support and kindness around me. My entire pregnancy at MDH was amazing.
And welcome back here to, they must have changed that to a 2. They've changed it to 11 points. Somebody got a point taken away. Yep, they changed Stevens' shot to a 2 instead of a 3. My apologies, folks. So we'll correct that as we get ready to start the second quarter here. 15-11. Panthers basketball to start the second quarter. 3 on the way by Wiskerchen's off, no good. Rigg with the rebound, gets it to Stevens. And a chance to cut into the lead. Reed Kelso, yeah, a brutal subsectional. You are absolutely correct. Possible regional championship here is says a lot. This is going to be a great game, and it's a great 2 very good basketball teams here on the floor tonight as we are in the second quarter already. This one's moving very quickly. Aiden Akers, who's in the game, goes to the rack. His shot's off, no good. Gets his own rebound. Has it knocked away by Pabin. And a jump ball is going to be called, possession to the Suns. 15-11. Suns with the basketball, trailing by 4. Stevens with it. Step back 3, top of the key. Nailed it, and a lot of contact from Gavin Blewett. But the 3 falls for Stevens that time. And the Suns are back within 1. Moore. Pabin now. Isaac Ginnenbacher. Back to Moore. Left corner 3. Short. Rebound by the Suns. That was Jarrett Van Beck with the rebound. Owen Rigg now gets it from Stevens. Stevens gets it back. Moore guarding him now across half court. They have switched to about 4 different guys on him. Akers gives it to Rigg. Now Stevens back to Rigg. Down in the corner it goes to Kaltenbach, who's in the game. Akers loses it nearly, but gathers it back up. Hands it off to Stevens. Stevens goes over to Rigg. Kaltenbach, nope. It's going to be tipped out of bounds by Moore. It'll stay with the Suns with 6:17 remaining here in the first half. Akers with it to Rigg. Now to Stevens. 10-foot line, right side. Van Beck now. Oh, man, he just about elbowed Blewett in the chops right there. Stevens takes look at a step back, doesn't take it. Now, pass stolen away by Wiskerchen. He's going to go against Rigg, and Rigg's going to get called for the block. Rigg picks up his first, team foul number 3 for the Suns, and a little bit of push by Wiskerchen might have made that Rigg blocking foul a little harder right there. Moore with it for the Panthers. Wiskerchen now over to Isaac Ginnenbacher. Down to Moore. Moore driving baseline, dumps it out. It's going to be rolled around, finally picked up by Pabin. Griffin Tippy has to run back into the play. Wiskerchen now. Picked up by Tippy in the 2-3 zone, I believe, for the Suns. Well, they're going to play a man-to-man, I guess. It's just a very sagging man-to-man here. Wiskerchen in a switching man-to-man. Now, Pabin is going to go to Isaac Ginnenbacher. Jumper off, no good. Fry with the rebound for the Suns. 5:14 remaining here. And one of the most anticipated games in the state of Illinois in small school basketball tonight, I would imagine, here at Southeastern High School. Thanks for joining us on TSSR Game Time Live, presented by MDH. I want to thank all of our sponsors. 3 on the way. Akers. No, it's long. Tippy's there for the rebound, though. He goes right down to Stevens. Stevens has it swiped away again. And finally coming up with it is Blewett, I believe it is. He's going to come to Pabin. Pabin now is going to drive. Runs into Akers, out to Wiskerchen. Pump fakes, drives, loses it, gets it all back. Dumps it out to Moore for 3, left wing, and he nails it. Moore has 11 points. Probably going to hear me say that a lot here, folks. That is their left, my right. That's the problem as I look at it from the end of the gymnasium here. 18-14 the score. It was an 8-point lead earlier. The Suns came roaring back at the end of the first quarter. Had it cut to 1, and now Blewett's going to throw it out of bounds on the overhead pass attempt by as Coach Ufkus goes out to show how to set a pick, I believe. I was waiting to see what was going on right there. So Ufkus calls the timeout. It's a full timeout. We'll take one as well, and we'll be back on TSSR Game Time Live, presented by MDH right after this.
At Western Illinois University, Leathernecks don't just blend in. Our purple stands out. Our students are innovative, creative, and resilient. At WIU, there is limitless potential, with campuses in Macomb, the Quad Cities, and online. Visit wiu.edu/potential to become a Leatherneck and get an education that stands out.
And welcome back to Southeastern High School. Once again, live chat's open. Want to thank everybody for hopping in there and talking to us. And even those of you that are supposed to be studying tonight, we appreciate you watching the game with us here on TSSR Game Time Live, presented by MDH. Pastor Tom Spain watching with us, and haven't got to see a lot of Pastor Tom here this winter because we haven't done a lot of Southeastern games. They haven't been home much, but I'm happy to see him back in the live chat with us. Chase Mudd and Scott Mudd doing a little in-home communications through our chat, I believe. 3 on the way for the Suns. It's Owen Rigg, and he hits it. Rigg has 5 points. And the lead back to 1 for the Panthers, 18-17. Moore with it. Pair of threes guarding each other right there. They're going to switch. Nope, they're going to go back. Isaac Ginnenbacher gives it to Pabin, over to Wiskerchen. Blew it down low, but he can't get there. Can't get in the ball. Wiskerchen still with Isaac Ginnenbacher for 3, and he nails it on a stop and pop for Isaac Ginnenbacher. His second 3. And they're going to call Stevens, I do believe. Nope. Going to call Akers for the foul, the offensive foul on Aiden Akers. His first, team's 4th. Jason Arthur. Hey, Jason, how are you, sir? Thanks for joining us. Isaac Ginnenbacher. Down baseline jumper, blocked by Akers. It's going to go to Stevens as Moore had his shot blocked by Akers and pushing it back the other way. Down in the corner it goes. Owen Rigg for 3 again. It's short that time. Akers with the rebound, lost it. And it's going to be Wiskerchen. Now it's going to be on the floor. They're battling for it. Blewett comes up with it finally. Good hustle down there by Wiskerchen to come up with the basketball. Now Aiden Akers is going to pick up another as he was trailing, and Moore cut right in front of him. Inadvertent, but sometimes you're in the wrong place at the wrong time, and Aiden Akers picks up foul number 2, team foul number 5 on the Suns. Carter Hitz checks back in. Akers takes a seat. Eiler checks back in. Blewett takes a seat for the Panthers. Moore with it now on the dribble. Paben. Moore looks at the three, doesn't take it. Isaac Ginnebacher's got a pair of threes of his own. He doesn't take it either. Now Wiskirchen with it. Wiskirchen, a nice spin move around hits, and then he travels with the basketball. He did a great spin move around Carter Hitz, but then he couldn't keep his feet under him and lost his balance. Gets called for the travel, and a possession back to the Suns. Now Stevens going to walk it up against Paben. Again, Paben gives up a lot of height. He's not going to be able to guard Stevens in the post, but he's doing a good job with him outside the 10-foot line. And it looks like they might be doing a little box and one or double teaming here as they're going to let Fry have the ball, and now Rigg gives it to Stevens. Carter Hitz, baseline jumper, good for Carter Hitz. He's got 5 points. Wiskirchen, what a look to Eiler. Wiskirchen tiptoeing down the baseline and gets it to Eiler. The assist to Wiskirchen. But a great look there as Rigg now goes baseline right side to Carter Hitz. Back to Rigg. Rigg's going to drive on Eiler now, and he's going to give it up top Mason Fry. Back to Stevens now with 90 seconds remaining in the first half. Mason Fry with it. Rigg back to Fry. Ufkus. Coach Ufkus. Nice look down to Fry, cutting without the basketball from Tippy. And Mason Fry has 2 more. He's got 4. Moore now gives it to Paben. Paben's going to drive on Fry, dump it out. Wiskirchen doesn't look at the three, fakes it. Now he's going to drive. Great run to the basket. His shot's hard off the glass, no good. Rebound to Stevens, who outlets it to Rigg. Rigg's got hits cut into the basket, but a good job by Ginnebacher to get back. A chance to tie or take the lead here for the Suns with under a minute to go in the first half. Fry looking down to Stevens, can't get it there. 3 on the way for Hitz. It's long, and it's going to be Moore bringing it back the other way as Eiler got it off the rim. Moore pulls up, puts up the shot. It's off, no good. Rigg with the rebound, another chance to tie or take a lead. Stevens, and now Ginnebacher is going to pick up the foul. That's 3 on Isaac Ginnebacher, and that is one that you do not want if you are the Panthers. As Ginnebacher picks up kind of a silly one, and Blewett's going to check in for Isaac Ginnebacher. Ginnebacher's done a good job defensively in a post on Stevens, and he's done a good job shooting the ball as well. He's got 8 points, but he's got 3 fouls. He'll sit down without trying to get another one here at the end of the first half. Stevens hit a bucket at the end of the first quarter. Can he get another one to tie it here, or can Kaltenbach have something to say about it? Kaltenbach with it in the corner. Up top to Rigg. 8 seconds. Kaltenbach back to Stevens. Stevens going to pump fake, drive, pull up, ties it. No, it's in and out, no good, and that's how the quarter's going to end. Eiler got the rebound. And at the end of 2 quarters of play, the Panthers lead the Suns 23-21. This game being brought to you tonight by Mudd Insurance Group. Thank you for tuning in to TSSR Game Time Live, brought to you by MDH. This coverage of Southeastern Sun boys basketball brought to you by Mudd Insurance Group and Grinnell Mutual Insurance. Contact Mudd Insurance today for all your home, auto, farm, commercial, life, health, and Medicare insurance needs, and live life knowing you're covered. Also, Adams Experts. Looking for a top-notch local computer sales and repair services? Call Adams Experts in Quincy at 217-214-3423 for fast, friendly, and affordable assistance. We make technology work. That's Adams Experts, your go-to when your computer goes down. So we'll take a break. We're going to play an interview that we did at the state's championship game for the I-8FA. That's what Southeastern plays in with West Prairie. The West Prairie Southeastern Cyclones were in the state tournament. They did not make the state championship game, but we have an interview with John Lawler from the I-8FA, the president. We'll let you hear that here at the half. You're watching TSSR Game Time Live, presented by MDH. And welcome to halftime here at the state championship game. And full disclosure, this is before the game.
Yeah, yep.
Here with Coach Lawler. And I guess you're back to being a coach, aren't you?
Well, yeah, they talked me into helping again, so I'm not the head coach, but I'm back coaching again. So.
Well, you coach a whole lot of people, because I've been going to some I-8FA meetings, and you're the head man at those things. You're the coach of that deal.
Yeah, I guess.
Those meetings, you never stop being a head coach.
No, it's kind of in you once it's in you. So
President of the Illinois 8-Man Football Association, and you guys just continue to grow.
Yeah, we are. We're up to 30 teams, and there's a couple more coming next year. And we're hoping to get a couple of teams that couldn't field the team back for next year. So, we might have 30, 32, 34 guys playing next year. So
the football is just getting better and better every year, too, it seems like.
Well, last year's championship game was great, I thought. And I loved it especially because everybody thinks 8-man football is like arena ball. Right. And what did we see? A 12 to 7 game.
Something like that, 12-8.
Yeah, a great game. And I'm a defensive guy anyway, so I loved it. Yeah, I loved it.
This 8-man thing is going to be here, and I think you guys have proven that with your association. The elephant in the room is IHSA going to take it over? That probably is down the road, but judging from the meetings that I've been to with you guys, not this year, obviously, and probably not going to be next year.
No, I don't. I honestly don't expect it for 2 or 3, maybe 4 years yet. Honestly, I thought we were closer. I think there's some things that they're looking at, wondering how it's going to affect how they do their championship weekend. Trying to include an 8-man game. That's one of the things. I think the big thing is the enrollment, as you've heard us talk about at the meetings that you've been to. I think that's the stickler. Where do they draw that line? Where do we draw that?
All right, welcome back, folks. And didn't mean to cut off Coach Lawler there, but wanted to take this opportunity to have the superintendent for Southeastern, Mr. Fox. Are you Coach Fox, Mr. Fox, Dr. Fox? I mean, I don't even know what to call you anymore.
I think it's Todd.
Todd works? Okay.
Yes.
Well, I've known you for a long time, back in my Macomb Journal days when you were coaching, and you've done a lot here. You've been through a lot at Southeastern. Another one of those big things was over Christmas break. I know everybody knows we had that cold weather. You guys had some problems here, but you got everything put back together in time to start school. It took a lot of work, though, didn't it?
It really did. So Christmas Eve, about 3:30, we find out that we have low water pressure. Well, there was a reason why we had low water pressure, because our sprinkler system pipes broke, and we had 2 of them break. And it's Christmas Eve, 3:30. And, it gets old saying this, but our people just absolutely step up. And the skipper of the USS Minnow was Andy Redenius. He's our maintenance director, and he brought in his staff and his crew. And it was a long Christmas break for us, but they just get the job done. And that's kind of what we're known for. It really is a situation where it's a family, and whatever needs to be done, we get it done. And cannot give Andy Redenius and his crew enough credit, because today we had an all-school assembly, and I think Mrs. Harrison asked the kids, how many can tell that we had this issue over Christmas break? Only one kid could tell, and I'm like, that's pretty dang good.
Could he really tell, or did he just want to be that one kid?
Exactly. So, we're awful proud of that, but it's what we do, and it's who we are. I don't want to compare it to the fire of 2006, but I tell you what, I had tears in my eyes when I walked in on Christmas Eve, because there was damage on 1/3 of our building. So just a great team effort, like we always do.
Well, the kids here, I've been to some school assemblies, and I've said this numerous times, there's not very many schools that the superintendent is the one that leads the school assemblies. You portray to every kid in this place what you expect from those kids, and you have a group of kids I feel like from kindergarten all the way through high school that have bought into that same attitude.
Well, I've been here 33 years in a number of roles, and whether it was Mike Frey or whoever it was, that's just what we do. But Southeastern has done a heck of a lot for me, more for me than what I've done for it, and But our kids respond. We got great kids. We always tell our people the fabric of who we are our kids. That's the nuts and bolts. Once again, we have a great, about 450 kids, pre-K through 12, and just wonderful people. And so we're very blessed, and we know that. We got great teachers. People don't understand how great of a staff we have. They can educate, they can relate, they can motivate, and they do it every single day. And I think sometimes that's taken for granted just how dang good our staff members are, our teachers are.
Now, I don't get to talk to you as much as I get to talk to Coach Kerr. Now, I don't know if you heard or listened, but at the state championship game, when they won their 7th grade state championship game, we talked a little bit about you, and we were trying to figure out how your hair stays so black. After all these years, I mean, you're getting a little gray in the beard, but
I'll tell you a funny story. So after the fire took place, I had a chance to speak at a number of different places. My grandma Fox had me speak in Keokuk at this women's Christian group. And at the end of the talk, a lady came up and said, "Todd Fox, I got 2 questions for you." Now, she was 97 years old, Grandma Fox. And she said, "The first question is, did you pray that day on the school fire day?" And I said, "Yes, ma'am, I did." And she says, "The second question." And I'm like, "Oh, crap. If the first question, did I pray? What's the second one?" She goes, "The second question, do you dye your hair?" No, I don't, ma'am, but thank you. So,
well, you've got some really, really good coaches here. Coach Kerr is, I talk to him a lot in volleyball. He's one of the best. But you've got good people. I mean, your FFA program is great. I mean, a small school like Southeastern, I don't know, lucky or good or whatever. I mean, the people are good, but how do you get so lucky to get them to stay here?
There's no question that besides school safety, my number one job is to recruit and retain good people. And so many times it's those extracurriculars, whether it be Linda Hartwig right now in the pep band, Stephanie Mensel in chorus, Brian Schilling in FFA, Brett Upkus basketball, Tim Kerr. We just got good people, and they understand big picture. Wins and losses are important, but it's the life lessons that you teach through sports, that you teach through those extracurriculars that matter the most, and we got good people doing it.
Well, you're getting to watch some pretty good basketball the last few years with Danny Stevens. I've said on numerous occasions this team needed other kids to score. Danny Stevens has 5 points tonight. This is the kind of game that makes this team better. Whether they win or lose it, I feel like the other kids scoring. As a former basketball coach, this could be a huge point in the season.
There's no question. I think the Macomb tournament was perfect. We did well. We got 4th place, outstanding. At the same time, it exposed some things, right? And Coach Upkus does a great job of taking those weaknesses and making them non-weaknesses by the end of the season. And he'll do the same thing here. But the thing about Danny Stevens is this. He's a better person than he is player. He's also a good player.
Yeah, he's a really good player. He's so I don't want to say quiet, but he's so soft-spoken and he's so polite. And I've interviewed him a couple times, and it's never me or I. It's always we or the team.
Yeah, and teams are always out to get him. They're always being physical. If it was you and I, you'd not be in a fight every other possession. Right. But Danny just plays pretty cool, and that's why he's awful good. But this is a good game. Central's a great rivalry for us. They're co-op partners with us in a number of things, and so this is a fun one for us.
Do you miss this at all?
I miss it like crazy. It makes no sense, but I miss it like crazy. But like I said, it's just fun seeing kids develop. And last year when Danny got hurt, a lot of people say best thing that ever happened to us, right? Because the other players had to step up, and you saw that product at the end of the season, all making it all the way to the super sectional and losing to a great Liberty team. So
this Moore kid's not too bad, is he?
He's a really good shooter, and what I like is the fact that their point guard, who is a true point guard, does a great job of finding him. They penetrate the lane hard, and then they kick out as well as anybody in the area, and that's difficult for any team to defend.
Now, you're not short, but Pabin's been guarding Danny Stevens,
yep.
And he gives up a foot to Danny Stevens, but Danny can't get around him with the basketball very easily at all.
Yeah, and I think that's a thing that we have to adjust to, and we will. Coach Upkus, this won't be the last time I don't think that we're going to play these guys, and Coach Upkus will adjust, but there's no question that they get in him pretty good, up and in him pretty hard, and that does cause some problems. And boy,
that's
Danny
4.
Yeah,
that's 4 on Isaac Ginnenbacher.
Yeah.
And Danny Stevens is that's the kind of pressure he causes on a defense, right?
Yes, no question.
I can't. That's going to be a huge. I said 3 was huge, but 4 this early in the third quarter is even bigger. But that right there says a little bit about Danny Stevens probably too, is they can't take Isaac Ginenbacher out of the game.
Correct.
They feel like
you can't roll that dice, can you, right now?
So they feel like they can't take him out. So, that's one of the things, I guess, at this point, right, that you kind of work through as a defender, and you tell the kid, you got to play smart, play tough, but play smart, right?
Yeah, and he's and Isaac is such a mature, young kid, and he understands the situation right now.
Yeah, and that was one of those times, and they're going to take a 30-second timeout for the Panthers. And this is probably one of those timeouts where you take it to say, hey, Isaac's got 4. We got to maybe do something a little different here, right?
I agree.
Well, I don't have to keep you. I know you got a lot to do. I greatly appreciate you coming and talking to us.
Thank you for everything that you do, because you support us awful dang well. So we appreciate you.
I appreciate that very much.
No,
thanks for coming and talking to me. Congratulations on getting everything together.
Thank you, sir.
Todd Fox talking to us on the halftime show and then to start the second half here. I want to thank him. And they are so gracious to have us with TSSR Game Time Live presented by MDH here. And we can't thank them enough for that. And we are underway with the second half, as you can see. I'm going to make sure I got the scoreboard and everything correct here. I kept up, but wanted to make sure everything couldn't see it from where I was standing. So it is third quarter action. Isaac Ginenbacher is out of the game. They called the timeout to get him out. Blewett came in for him. Now Moore is going to try another 3 left side that time. Stevens with the rebound, and Blewett is going to pick up the foul. That'll be his team's second, of the second half. Isaac Ginenbacher had one as well. Once again, live chat's open. Hop in there. Let us know who you're cheering for and where you're watching from. I thank Todd Fox for coming on and talking to us for a few minutes there. Tippy has it. Back to Stevens. And a travel on Mason Fry. Possession back to the Panthers, as we have just 5:46 to go as the camera got hit by the we'll try to fix the scoreboard camera here, the clock camera, I'm sorry. Got hit when they were opening the curtain, it would appear. Eiler with the rebound and the putback, it's off, no good. Stevens with the block of Blewett. Baseline jumper hits, off, no good. Rebound by Blewett back this way, because I think we got the camera pretty much back to where it needs to be. 3 on the way, short. Tippy with the rebound, he gives it to Stevens. Dunk for Danny Stevens. That's the momentum changer maybe the Suns needed. Stevens right back to the rack. Shots up and in for Danny Stevens. And it's a 1-point game again. Stevens playing a little more physically, offensively here in this third quarter. Wiskerchen's going to drive, and Tippy's going to pick up the foul. Be Tippy's team's first of the second half. Aiden Akers checking in. Takes a seat for the Suns. Panthers with the basketball and a 1-point lead. 4:10 remaining. Rigg nearly picked up a foul. Pabin on the dribble. Step back, long 2, good for Drew Pabin. Back to a 3-point lead. Corner Akers. Akers drives baseline, skips it across. Tippy. Stevens. Tippy. Wiskerchen. Guarding him. Now it's got to Fry. Akers. Ball's kicked by Blewett with 3:28 remaining. Central fan section right down here beside us. Inbounded to Stevens. Stevens for three. Nailed it! And we're tied at 28. Stevens already 7 points here in quarter number 3. Step back, Pabin with it. Eiler now is going to try and drive, gets right around Rigg. Little runner's good for Carter Eiler. He's got 6 points in the game and a 2-point lead again for the Panthers. Mason Fry with it. Gives it to Stevens. Picked up by Pabin. Now Fry, free throw line jumper is short. It goes off of Wiskerchen, but he's able to track it down and takes it across half court. Wiskerchen up top, Pabin. Left side, Moore. Back to Pabin. Pabin for three. It's off, no good. Tippy's going to track it down as it goes to the corner. Gives it to Stevens with 150 seconds left. Rigg now. He's going to have to get it across half court. He does. Nearly loses it. Gives it to Fry. Fry does lose it, but gathers it back up. He tries to get it to Stevens. Blocked. Tipped out. Goes to Moore. Akers was wide open, and he didn't find him. Out top, Moore for three, left wing. It's off, no good. Rebound down low, Wiskerchen. He got hammered down there. Now Stevens, and Stevens is going to be fouled. Well, that's going to be Pabin or Moore. We'll see who it's on. It's going to be on Moore. Nick Moore picks up his first foul, team foul number 3. .157 to go in the third quarter. Stevens to Fry. Akers down low to Stevens. Stevens has it swiped away from behind by Pabin. It'll stay with the Suns, though. Inbound play, foul. Mason Fry is going to be shooting 2 free throws. Foul's going to be on Wiskerchen. That'll be his first, team's 4th. Mason Fry's first free throw, short on the front of the rim. Hits it twice but won't fall in. Fry has 4 points. Carter hits in for the shooter if Mason Fry makes the second, trying to make it a 1-point game. Short again, but it rattles around, and it's going to go off of Blewett, out of bounds. It'll stay with the Suns, and Carter Hitz will come in replacing Mason Fry. Kaltenbach is in as well. Aiden Akers. Aiden Akers to inbound to Stevens, and not a good pass. And he's going to step in and pick up a foul as Pabin stole it away. And Aiden Akers is going to pick up his 3rd foul. Team's 2nd of the second half. Eiler with it, and he's going to be fouled by, we're going to call it on Hitz or Kaltenbach. We're going to call it on Kaltenbach, his first. Team's 3rd. 1 minute, 18 seconds left. Moore, 3, right corner, short. Blewett tipping with it with Kaltenbach. It's going to be tipped around, finally picking up by Aiden Akers. Now he'll push it up the floor for the Suns. He's going to go to Stevens. Stevens now is going to drive. Puts up the runner. It's good, and we're tied. Stevens has 9 in the third quarter. He had 5 in the first half. It's all Stevens here in quarter number 3 for the Suns, but they had very well-rounded scoring in the first half. Wiskerchen, a little push off there, no call. Picks up his dribble, comes to Blewett. Blewett goes over to Moore. Moore wants the step back three, picks him up. Eiler now picked up by Kaltenbach. Blewett down low to Eiler. Eiler's shots was changed by Stevens, who was coming over defensively, and a chance for the Suns to retake the lead here. They led 2-0. That's the only time they've led in this game. Stevens gives it to Kaltenbach with 10 seconds remaining. Boy, really handsy is Blewett. Blewett now down in the corner, hits up top. Rigg over to Akers. Kaltenbach, three, no good. And that's how the quarter's going to come to an end. We're knotted at 30 apiece at the end of three. We'll take a break, and we'll be back in just a few seconds on TSSR Game Time Live, presented by MDH.
It was the community that really drew me back to Macomb. I'm from a small community, and I'm from a farm family, and ultimately I always wanted to practice in a place like that, and I felt that I had the ability to connect to people who with a similar background from me, and the fact that the staff members at the hospital and the support, all the support staff at the hospital was also focused with the goal of patient care. It felt like it just all came hammered at home for me.
And welcome back to Southeastern High School. Coach Ufkus coming out and talking to the officials till halfway through that quarter break, and I'm not real sure what they were looking at there, but something going on. So they will see if anything changes. It should be Southeastern basketball, I believe, to start the fourth quarter. Frank Cash. Frank Cash, you know what? That's a dang good question. How do you say Danny Stevens for three in Spanish? I like that, Frank. Good to hear from you, Frank. Hopefully you're doing well at your new gig down there, I believe, Griggsville-Perry, if I remember correctly. It will be Southeastern basketball to start the fourth quarter. Final 8 minutes, and it's a tie game. So we got if we were doing racing, we'd say a 8-lap dash. We got an 8-minute quarter, and now an overthrow to Rigg, and it's going to go out of bounds. Possession to the Panthers. So the Suns have had more than one opportunity here to take a lead in the third and start fourth quarter now, and have not been able to do it. They have not made a whole lot of hay since Isaac Ginnenbacher left the game. He left with 4 fouls with about the 6:50 mark of the third quarter. He's still on the bench. The younger Ginnenbacher is in the game, Elijah Ginnenbacher. He played very well, the sophomore, in the fresh soft game earlier tonight. He's on the dribble, gives it to Pabin. Pabin now is going to try and drive, gives it down. Now Moore, three, left wing, off, no good. Ball tipped around. Stevens comes down with it as Elijah Ginnenbacher was fighting with him for the rebound. Another chance for the Suns to take the lead. Again, they have not led since 2-0. Tippy with it. Haven't heard Tippy's name. He's not been very active lately. Now the ball tipped, and it's going to go over and back. I don't know. Tippy thought Rigg was still behind him and tipped it out to him. So 2 turnovers to start the fourth quarter for the Suns, and they trail the Panthers. Blewett gives it to Wiskirchen. Elijah Ginnenbacher. Moore's going to drive. Haven't seen him do a lot of that tonight. Now Blewett has it top of the key. Wiskirchen on Mason, with Mason Fry on him, excuse me. Pabin now. Back to Blewett. Blewett with Carter Hitz picking him up. Moore left side now. Ginnenbacher. Wiskirchen's going to drive on Tippy. And Tippy's going to get, stepped on the baseline, I believe. Or did they call an offensive foul? Nope, stepped on the baseline. Turnover. Possession back to the Suns. Eiler checks back in for the Panthers. Tippy brings it across half court for the Suns. Danny Stevens is wearing number 21. Must have had blood on his jersey, I would imagine. The only reason why I could think of, you would change jerseys. Owen Rigg skips it across to Tippy. Up top, Fry. 3 on the way. Stevens off, no good. Tipped, and it's going to be Carter Hitz. Yeah, that's a good call. Carter Hitz going to get the foul. His second, team's fourth. Blewett going to inbound to Moore. Stevens and Moore, I do believe, the only 2 players did not sit at all. Pabin, well, Wiskerchen may not have either, actually, now that I think about it. Wiskerchen drives, dumps it out Pabin. Moore, back to Pabin. 5:25 remain. 3 on the way. It's long. Hits with a rebound for the Suns. Neither team has scored here in the fourth quarter. They've had good looks. They just have not got the ball in the basket. And now Owen Rigg is going to get called for the block as Stevens was trying to bring the ball up the floor. Team foul number 5 on the Suns. And here comes Isaac Ginnenbacher back into the game. He sat for nearly a complete quarter, actually more than a complete quarter and a minute and a half or so, and he's back in with 5:15 remaining. We'll see if he can stay in the basketball game. Isaac Ginnenbacher is going to go over to Pabin. Pabin to Moore. 5 minutes remaining. Moore. Wiskerchen to Isaac Ginnenbacher. Moore for 3, right wing, nailed it. First basket of the fourth quarter goes to the Panthers, and they lead by 3. (33-30). Tippy with it. Wanted to give it to Stevens. Now back out to Rigg. Back to Tippy. Skipping across, but Isaac Ginnenbacher, they wanted to skip it across to Hitz, but it was too low. Ginnenbacher with the steal. Pabin over to Moore. Pabin to Isaac Ginnenbacher. Back to Pabin. Left side Moore. Wing 3. No good. High off the glass. Mason Fry with the rebound. Stevens now is going to push it up the floor. Double teamed. And a timeout's going to be charged to the Suns. It's a 30-second timeout. This game being brought to you tonight by Adams Experts. Looking for top-notch local computer sales and repair services? Call Adams Experts in Quincy at 217-214-3423 for fast, friendly, and affordable assistance. We make technology work. Adams Experts, your go-to when your computer goes down. And Barkley Bills Company, a hat brand built on 2 staples, comfort and style. Specializing in snapback trucker-style caps. Check out the selection or consider customs to build your business at barkleybillsco.com. Don't let the hat rack fool you. There's always room for one more Barkley Bills Company hat. And thank you for tuning in to TSSR Game Time Live, brought to you by MDH. This coverage of Southeastern Suns boys basketball is brought to you by Mudd Insurance Group and Grinnell Mutual. Contact Mudd Insurance today for all your home, auto, farm, commercial, life, health, and Medicare insurance needs, and live life knowing you're covered. As Stevens has it again, his turnaround jumper is good. Back to a 1-point game. (33-32). Just 5 points between the two teams scored here in the fourth quarter. Defense is good, but they've had some shots. They just have not fallen for either team. A lot of turnovers, some forced, some unforced. Bad passing by both teams to start the quarter resulted in some turnovers. Eiler has it. That might have been a double dribble, but he gets away with it, and another bucket as Eiler gets 2 more. He's got 2 in each quarter. Now Fry on a pass from Stevens has it stolen away. Now Rigg steals the pass away. Out to Mason Fry. Fry to Stevens. He's fouled. No shot. It's on the floor. See, it's going to be Wiskirchen picking up the foul to be his second, team's fifth. Both teams have 5 fouls now. Owen Rigg to inbounds. Going to go up top to Hitz. Hitz comes to get it over Isaac Ginnenbacher. Gives it to Stevens. A 3-point game. Panthers with the lead. And Hitz runs into the lane as Stevens throws it out of the lane, and it's another turnover. And the Panthers a chance to make it a 2-possession game. And in a game where scoring has been at a premium here, especially in the second half, this could be huge. Rigg tries to get the slap from behind, steal, but not happening. Isaac Ginnenbacher gives it to Wiskirchen. Down low, Eilers. Skips it out to Moore. Now Pabin for 3, left wing. It's short. Stevens with the rebound. He'll push it up the floor. He'll give it off to Jesse Johnson, who's in the game for the Suns. Over to Rigg. 1:54 remaining. Now to Akers. Johnson has it. And they're going to call Eiler for a hold. Yes, they are. Eiler gets the call. It's his first, team 6th. Still no free throws, but the Suns will be in the bonus the rest of the way. They trail by 3. Owen Rigg to inbound. Akers has it stripped away by Eiler as Rigg tried to get it into him, and just wasn't enough room there. Now Moore's going to drive. It's tipped away. Johnson has to go out of his hands. Akers saves it in, and Johnson comes down with it. He gives it to Stevens. 35-32, still the score. Akers has it. Tries to go down to Stevens. Another pass ahead of Stevens, and it's going to be another turnover. A timeout called with 1:23 remaining. It's a full timeout charged to the Panthers. They should have a 3 left, I believe. We'll wait for official word on that. We'll take a break, and we'll be back on TSSR Game Time Live, presented by MDH, right after this.
When my parents told me they'd be using Adams Experts, I felt a bit replaced. I mean, they always called me to remove their viruses or get their printer connected to Wi-Fi. He even set up their new Roku.
How do I adopt a new son?
But then he taught me a few things. And now, we're like tech brothers.
Adams Experts. Repair, maintenance, and setup for all your home technology needs.
And welcome back to Southeastern High School. 1:23 remaining, 35-34. Panthers have the possession arrow. Suns are in the bonus the rest of the way. They have 1 foul to give before they could get the Panthers into the bonus. It is Panthers basketball after another turnover for the Suns. They've had a bunch of turnovers here in the fourth quarter. Isaac Ginnenbacher to inbound. He gets it into Moore. I would imagine they will not be in any hurry here, as they're going to take all 10 seconds just to merely get it across the half-court line. Moore gives it off to Pabin. Pabin picked up by Tippy. Stevens comes out to double team. Stevens reaches around to get a steal, but they're going to call him for the foul. That'll be his third. Make that his second, excuse me. Team's 6. So both teams are in the bonus the rest of the way now as we approach the 60-second mark. 1 minute remaining. 1 minute remaining here in the basketball game. A 3-point lead for the Panthers. They have the basketball. Wiskirchen guarded by Rigg. Going to have to come up and double team here. It's tipped away from behind. Stevens gets it, gives it back to Rigg. Now Rigg gives it back to Stevens. Stevens goes to the rack. He's going to get fouled. He can't finish. That was a pretty finishable foul attempt there. Wiskirchen's going to pick up the foul, but Stevens very easily could have been trying to tie it from the free throw line with an old-fashioned three-point play. Instead, he's got 2 free throws coming here. Missed the first. Suns have only scored 2 points in the fourth quarter. Panthers just 5, but they have a 3-point lead. Make it a 2-point lead as Stevens hits the free throw. It's a 2-point game. Rigg. Suns are going to have to foul here. And Rigg comes out and fouls more. Probably not who you want to foul. It could be a 2-possession game at the end of this. Believe it or not, folks, this is the first free throw attempt of the game for the Panthers. Both teams have 7 fouls. First one is good. The bonus situation, first one was good. It's a 3-point lead game. This is a lot bigger free throw here as he has a chance to make it a 2-possession game. 36-33, nailed it. And a turnover on the far end, trying to get the ball inbounds. Timeout's going to be called, a 30-second timeout charged to the Panthers. Again, Panthers have the possession arrow. Both teams are in the bonus. 37-33, a turnover. Taking care of the basketball has been a problem. We look back at this game, folks, it's a tale of two halves. Danny Stevens scored just 5 points in the first half. His team trailed by 2. But there was 4 other players that scored for the Suns in the first half. Nobody but Stevens has scored in the second half. Mason Fry did shoot a couple free throws, didn't hit either one of them. Moore with it, and Rigg's going to foul him. That's 3 on Rigg. Team foul number 8. Moore at the free throw line again, 1 in bonus. Hits the first. He's 3 for 3 here in the fourth quarter, and it's a 5-point lead for the Panthers. 24.5 seconds remaining. Second one is good. He's 4 for 4. Aiden Akers down the corner. Owen Rigg pump fake. Gives it to Mason Fry, to Tippy. Stevens going to force up a 3. It's no good. Rigg skipped a really good look at a 3. Didn't take it, and that's how this one's going to end. 39-33, the final score. The Panthers get the win over the Southeastern Suns as they meet at the half-court line for a handshake. And we'll take a break, and we'll come back with some stats here on TSSR Game Time Live, presented by MDH in just a couple minutes.
I chose MDH. We moved here, and I was researching different places that would allow me to VBAC, have a vaginal birth after C-section, and the doctors here do encourage that, and so I chose that after looking online, and I wouldn't want to deliver anywhere else because they all go above and beyond, and they're so kind and actually care about you.
MTC Communications is building a high-speed fiber network in our community, and we're putting priority on the areas with the greatest interest. That means we need your input to let us know you want us to build fiber in your area first. Experience the speed and convenience of fiber internet by visiting our special website and registering. Let us know you want fiber internet today and make your voice heard.
Minimally invasive surgery offers a variety of benefits to the patient. We are now able to offer patients a variety of operations with small incisions rather than big open incisions. The surgeries that we can do now, minimally invasive, include bariatrics, hernia repair, colorectal surgeries, faster recovery, smaller incisions, faster time back to work.
And welcome back here to Southeastern High School. The Panthers get the 39-33 38-33 win over the Southeastern Suns. John Burton, big crowd on here tonight. Great to see. Yes, thank you, John Burton. Thanks for joining us. I greatly appreciate all that you do to help us here on TSSR Game Time Live, presented by MDH, and to let us know how the West Hancock-West Prairie game went a little bit earlier. Scott Mudd. Now, Scott, I want to know why it was you that got on here and had to tell us what the three-pointer, how three-pointer was said or written instead of Chase. Or did Chase actually listen to you and get off the broadcast when you said he was supposed to be studying? Well, let's look at some stats here, some final point totals for some teams from players here. For the Central Panthers, a game-high 21 points for Nick Moore. He was 4 of 4 from the free throw line. He hit the final 4 points from the free throw line, in fact. It was 35-33, or 35-32, excuse me. And, no, it was 35-32 after Danny Stevens hit 1 of 2 free throws. So it was a 2-point game. He hit 2 free throws to make it a 4-point game, and then hit a pair more to make it the 6-point final. 39-33. Those were the only 4 free throws that the Scott Chase is hiding. I kind of wondered maybe he learned his lesson and knew better than to respond again. I must say that you're doing something right if you've at least he's caught on to not do something twice. That's a good thing. So 8 points for Carter Eiler. He had 2 points in each quarter. Isaac Ginnenbacher finished with 8. All of his were in the first half. He sat down over a quarter or over half of the second half with 4 fouls. He came back in and played the final 5:15 of the game, but was really a non-factor when he came back in. And 2 points for Drew Pabin, and Drew Pabin was a big part of making things happen defensively for the Panthers. Danny Stevens finished with a team-high 17 points. He was 1 of 2 from the free throw line and had a couple threes, but he only had 5 points in the first half. The Suns looked like a different team there in the first half, and much more Danny Stevens oriented in the second half, maybe by design. He had 5 in the first half, 12 in the second. Everybody else's points were all scored in the first half. Griffin Tippie had 2. Owen Rigg had 5. Carter Hitz had 5. And Mason Fry had 4. Mason had 2 free throws in the third quarter but missed them both. So that's how this one stacks up and shapes out here. This is probably not the last time that you're going to see these two teams meet. As Reed Kelso pointed out in our live chat, good opportunity for these two teams to meet in a regional final. So they'll probably see each other again down the road, as can be expected. We will be here next week, 3 nights, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, I do believe, if my memory serves me correctly, as we have the Hancock County tournament next week. So we will be here, and we'll cover every game of that tournament that's here at Southeastern. There'll be 2 games on Monday, 2 games on Wednesday, and 2 games on Friday. All of them can be watched here on TSSR Game Time Live and our Hulett PubliPro LLC YouTube channel. Unity, West Hancock, Illini West, and Southeastern all playing here at Southeastern High School. It is a round-robin style, so all 4 of those teams will play each other in the 3 nights of basketball here next week. So for Evan Wagner, I'm Dwayne Hulett. Thanks for joining us. We'll be tomorrow night, if you're into this kind of thing, we'll have wrestling for the first time on TSSR Game Time Live, presented by MDH. As Kurt Myers is going to be on the call with me, and we'll see what we can do about getting some wrestling kids. Macomb has some really good wrestlers, Max Reiner, Ethan Ladd, Carter Hogue, and others. Very, very good wrestlers. And we'll have those matches tomorrow night here on TSSR Game Time Live, presented by MDH. Thanks for joining us, all 240 some of you that were watching. I'm sure there were a few more in that at the different locations. So thanks for joining us. We'll see you down the road, probably next Monday here at Southeastern High School. We've got a bunch of basketball between now and then, though. See you.